If there is one thing everyone can agree upon, it's the importance of maintaining safety and security at our schools. This year, the Burlington Public Schools are implementing a new standard response protocol to establish a uniform system for addressing critical incidents and emergencies. The plan is to make everyone at the schools prepared for any incident, weather events, fires, accidents, intruders, and other threats to student safety with clear language and guidelines.
It's the same language universally across the board with this program, so we're not changing anything at the schools. Instead of calling it like we used to call it code blue and things like that, we call it a lockdown. So what we like about this program is it's an all-hazard program.
The protocols are the brainchild of John Michael Keyes, founder of the I Love You Guys Foundation. Keyes' daughter Emily was killed in 2006 during the Platte Canyon High School shooting. Her last text message sent to her parents while being held hostage was, "I love you guys." The way the protocol works is that everyone in the school will be given the same instructions, printed on posters in each room of the building that details what to do when one of 4 instructions are given. They are lock down, lock out, evacuate, and shelter.
So it's going to have the same language throughout. So every classroom, every staff member at the schools will have it. Our custodians will have it. It'll be ready, available, posted, and also in emergency flyers all throughout the building. It'll be at the PA system at the schools, whoever's the one that speaks on the PA system. Our front desk will have it. So if we say there's a lockdown at the school, all that means is that there's a threat inside the building, and teachers can look up and says what to do with the students, what they should do. If it's a lockout, that means there's a threat outside the building. Teachers can look at this flyer and say, okay, lockout, threat outside the building, let me see. Students, school as usual. So they know they're not going to lose any school time. If it's evacuate, that could be a fire, it could be a hazmat problem in the school. They're told to evacuate. We have that pre-planned. So, and then the last one is shelter, a hazard where it might be it could be like a hurricane or something like that. We want them to shelter down at the school. So all it is they have one area or one place where they go to. Everything's answered as far as school safety. So if there's a substitute teacher, if there's someone not really sure what's going on, they can look at these flyers. They can hear the PA system. They have to say whatever the announcement is a couple times. They can look right on the sheet and they'll know exactly what's going on, what they should do with staff, what they should do with students. And that way we make sure that everybody's thinking the same way, and that we think will make the schools as safe as possible.
This clear language is a departure from how security was handled before, when codes, known only to those in charge, were created. This sometimes led to confusion and a lack of information to both those in the building and parents hearing about a security threat.
Codes was thought to be the way to do it. If there was a threat inside the building and somebody called out a code silver, then that would mean that everybody knows to protect themselves, but maybe the bad person or the threat doesn't know that everyone's aware he's there. The protocol now is that we don't want codes. We want to say right out over loudspeakers, there's a threat for your safety, there's a person with a gun, there's a person with a knife. You know, immediately just do whatever you need to make yourself safe. There's no more codes. We want everything out in the open because, of course, there could be visitors in the school. There could be some staff that might not know what that code is in that particular school. Obviously, for our commercial properties throughout town, we never would want people to use codes because there's always visitors in those properties. So you're right, it's turned over the last number of years to using codes to just put everything out in the open. Any threat at all, say right over the PA, tell everybody exactly what you want them to do, text everybody and say there's a person with a gun, there's a person with a knife, or a threat, or a hazmat problem. Say it out immediately so everybody knows exactly what to do, and that way it really simplifies things. And we always say, you know, minutes count, but really some of these things, seconds count. So we want to get everybody understanding what that threat is and then to plan accordingly after that.
School officials say this system will help parents have more information during an emergency by providing them the language of the protocols.
Again, I think there'll always be anxiety, you know, with these type of situations. So but I think it'll help lend itself some clarity. So again, if we say relax code blue, which is something we've used in the past, a term we've used in the past, you know, parents will call and say, what does that mean? And then if the answer is I can't really, you know, get into too much detail as to what that means, there can be some confusion and some frustration. If we have, again, a lockout in the new protocol term, and we have that defined, and we tell parents what a lockout is and some of the situations we would be using it in, I think then they would, again, I hope that would help, but they're still going to want more information, and we're still going to have to provide it. I just think simplicity, clarity, directness, I hope will just improve communication.
At the Burlington Police Department and Burlington Public Schools, I'm B News Director Rich Hosford.